Welcome to another episode of the Mountain West Insider Podcast here on the Field of 68 Media Network. My name is Rob Dauster. Jeff Goodman is here, and we are joined today by Nique Clifford, the star wing forward guard, Mr. Versatility from Colorado State. And Nique, before we get started, man, I got a fun fact for you. I was just asking Jeff before you jumped on the Zoom here. There are two players in college basketball right now averaging at least 16 points, at least 10 rebounds, and at least 3 assists. Do you know who they are?
I would have to guess I'm one of them,
You're
but
one of them.
um, who else?
The other is
Oh,
Janai Broom, who everybody has as the
okay,
favorite to
that was
win
actually
the.
gonna be my guess.
Yeah. So
Actually gonna be
the
my
guy
guess.
that everyone thinks is going to be the National Player of the Year, and you are the two guys averaging at least 16, 10, and 3 assists. Where did this versatility come from, man? Where did this rebounding come from? When did you turn into Mr. Double Double?
I mean, I feel like I've been a pretty good rebounder most of my life. I played center back when I was in high school, so I'm always down there just banging with the bigs, rebounding it. So it's just become something that's natural to me. My dad taught me it from a young age. And it's just part of who I am, and it's a way that I can contribute every game. I think even when you're not scoring the ball, doing little stuff like rebounding, is something that I can always bring to the game and something I take pride in.
So hold on a
Yeah, that
second. Real quick, Jeff. You were 6 foot as a sophomore and you were playing center in high school. Is that right?
I'll correct you. When I was a senior, I was more of the center. But when I was a little younger, yeah, like you said, I was small, so I was on the perimeter. I wasn't down there with the bigs then.
well, and you grew up in Colorado Springs, right?
Yes, sir.
So there's size, but it's not
Yeah.
size like in Houston or something like that.
Nah, yeah, there's levels to it, definitely. There would be some teams where I'd be probably 6'5" my senior year, and we go against. I mean, the tallest dude we probably ever went against was 7 foot, which is tall, but we didn't see that too often.
So I want to flip back because when we saw you in Vegas at Media Day, uh, we had a lot of fun. One thing I wanted to ask you then was kind of your path and your development over the years because you were a guy that waited your turn. I mean, 3 years you got progressively better. You barely played your freshman year. I mean, literally barely got on the court.
Yeah,
Most guys would be frustrated, would have told Tab Boyle, hey, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm going to go somewhere else where I can play right away. Take me back, if you can even remember that far, of what that was like, what the conversations were like with maybe your family and Tab Boyle, and how close you were, and who maybe, convinced you to stick it out.
yeah, not. My parents were always really good about letting me make decisions for myself, and so um, everyone, of course, was wondering why I didn't play my freshman year or whatnot, and I wasn't ready. We had an older team, very experienced team, and so I had to, like you said, wait my turn a little bit. And early on in my career, I was very immature when it came to, like understanding how to be a good teammate when I wasn't playing. And so that was something I really had to learn. And I think it helped me grow tremendously, figuring out ways that I could help my teammates out when I wasn't playing. And so that year helped me grow a lot and see the game from a different lens. And then from there on, I had up and down years at Colorado. And, um, you know, my freshman year going into my sophomore year, I knew I was going to have a different role going in that sophomore year because we lost so many guys. So stuck it out that year, was very up and down. Then going into my junior year, we were losing our main guys like Jabari and Evan Batty and people like that. And so I knew I was going to have to take a step that year and, kind of be one of the top guys going into that junior year, which is ultimately why I chose to stick it out. And, it didn't go the way I planned, unfortunately. And then going into that senior year, I was I still have this passion, this goal that I want to make it to the NBA, and I'm not going to lose that for nothing. So, um, had to make a tough decision to change schools, and ended up at Colorado State, and it's been working out.
Yeah, it really has worked out for you. You were third team All Mountain West last year. You got to be in the conversation for first team, maybe Mountain West Player of the Year this year. And I think the most interesting part about that has been the development. You went from being kind of a piece, right? Maybe that's maybe not putting enough respect on it, but like you were next to Isaiah Stevens. He kind of had the ball in his hands. That's where the
Yeah.
offense ran through. And now you're the guy. Like you're the focal point. You're the number one thing on every scouting report that Colorado State teams have to face. How has that adjustment gone for you? For I'm sure that you're seeing a lot more double teams now, maybe than you did last year.
Yeah, no, it's different. It's different when you are the man. Like Isaiah got a lot of those double teams last year out of the ball screens, and well deserved. He's a hell of a player, and so he did his time. He earned his stripes, and so I've kind of gone through that same process, and now it's kind of my turn to take the reins, and um, it's really challenged me to be an every single day guy, like every rep, being mentally focused for my teammates, helping them, holding them accountable, and making sure like our team is doing what we're supposed to each and every day. And so it's just helped me become a better leader, become a better player, and just a man in general. And so I think, like you said, it's a challenge. It's a lot of responsibility being the guy, but it's something that I've waited my turn for, and I'm very blessed to be in this situation because not a lot of guys get to be in that spot.
Yeah, real quick
Neat.
follow up
What
on that, Nick, is just, and sorry to cut you off, Jeff, is just, I think the most interesting part about that is in the NBA, I think it's fair to say, like, you're probably going to be a role player in the league, right? Maybe 3 and D, floor spacer, just you're going to be kind of the guy, the complimentary guy in the league. And you decided to come back, pull your name from the draft and come back to school to go be the star and kind of it's like almost like a different role than what you'll be doing at the next level. I think it's really cool that you came back, you made the decision, you're back at Colorado State, even if it's not necessarily preparing you for that next level because of what this team can be.
Yeah, no, it's definitely helping me grow my confidence. Seeing the game just is just slowing down for me, just seeing it from a different perspective. Um, and now that I've been in pretty much every role, I feel like I can adjust to whatever they put
Mhm.
me into in the league, from being, a bench guy to being a guy that plays up and down minutes to a guy that's asked to be the man. I think my story and my journey is definitely gonna help me for whatever they ask me to do in the league. And I know I'll have to earn my stripes when I get to that point. But I'm not stopping. I want to just continue to improve and be the best that I could be.
how is your leadership style different than Isaiah Stevens's?
I think Isaiah was more. He was more dominant. More. He's gonna tell you like, "Come on, you're not doing this. You're not doing that. Like you gotta. Like we need you right now." And he was a great leader. He was a great leader. He held people accountable. I think I have aspects of that, but I do it in a different fashion. I feel like I'm more of an uplifting guy, like uh, knowing when my teammates are down, knowing when they need confidence, so like just boosting them up. I feel like there's times where I have to hold people accountable and tell them like, "Come on, like you got to pick it up." But yeah, I feel like Zay was more dominant, aggressive about it, where I'm
When he
more,
had that role longer too. I mean, he had a
yeah,
chance to grow. Like that was a role he's had. It feels like forever,
man.
right?
Most definitely. Yeah, he was very comfortable in that role, and I think that's just his personality too. He's very comfortable doing that type of stuff, and so that's something that I've had to grow into as well and learn. But being around guys like him, being around guys like Evan Batty, McKinley Wright, who are great leaders for me and mentored me, so just kind of taking things from all those different people and applying it in my own way.
One of the really cool things I think about the Colorado State program overall is that there's not a lot of guys that leave when they have an opportunity to do so, to go to another college program, right? Like David Roddy was there for 3 years, leaves for the NBA. Isaiah Stevens was there for 5 years, probably could have left a year early to go to the NBA. And I'm sure he had people reaching out at points saying, hey, come to a bigger program, a higher level. I'm sure that at points last year, when people found out you were going to come back to school, you probably heard some of that stuff as well. What is it
Yeah.
about? What is it about like Nico and Colorado State and this culture that brings these guys back, brings players like you back?
Yeah. I mean, it's like you said, the culture that Coach Medved has created. I'm around great people every single day, guys that uplift me, like instill me with confidence and um, just shoot me straight, like trying to help me be better as a man, as a basketball player. And that's something that I just truly respected about them. It was never about going to get more money from NIL and going somewhere else. Like I really never had a thought about leaving if I were to go back to school. Like you said, of course, there was other schools that were showing interest in reaching out and stuff, but it was never something that I wanted to pursue. I wanted to stay loyal to Coach Medved and all the love that they've shown me since high school. They've stayed true to that. Even when I was at Colorado, they were always just super, super nice to me and my family. When we would see them at tournaments that we were playing at the same tournaments, they would always just show love. And so I truly respected that about them. And just the way that they run the program, it just made me want to stay. And I think similar with Zay and Roddy talking with them about it, they felt the same way.
Because you can get where you need to go, man. Like you can get to the league
Yeah.
from there. You've seen it with those two guys before you.
100%. And I think people get this um, misconception that you got to be at a big school, a big program, when there's so many guys that have made it from mid-major schools, low major schools. And so, like, everybody got their own path. And I'm a big believer in that. I came from a small 3A school in high school, and people never thought I was going to make it to D1 level from there. And so I think it's just part of that story and proving people wrong.
All right, you got to be straight up with me here. We're putting out a mock draft actually later this week, and we're going to have you in the 20s. How much do you pay attention to these, if at all? Do other people send you them? Does it motivate you, or do you try not to look at them? Kind of where's your head with the mock drafts?
Yeah, I think I've matured in that sense too. Like last year, I looked at it a little bit because that's the first time my name's even ever seen a mock draft. So like, of course, I would look at it occasionally, but this year I've just been really focused on my team. Like I'm not worried at all about the NBA stuff. Of course, I see it here and there just because it's on my feed or people might send it to me, but I really have no care in the world about like the NBA stuff right now. I'm trying to focus on the moment, like focusing on today, focusing on helping my team get better and how I could be better. And that's just helped me just be way better as a basketball player and a person. Because when you're living in the future, it's hard to, be at your best.
Hey, when we saw you in Vegas, your head coach had his ankle severely taped, wrapped, everything. He could barely move. He was completely milking
Right.
a sprained ankle that we don't even think was really a sprained ankle. Right. I
Stubbed his
mean, like
toe. The truth
sprained
is he
ankle,
stubbed
right?
his toe.
So just
Like, has he gotten any tougher, Nique, or is he still soft?
man, he went through his healing process. I feel like he's fought through that. He's been out on the floor, no ankle tape no more. So I think he's doing well. I feel like he's showing some toughness lately. So
All
I
right.
can give it to him.
Well, give me the one thing that either you or your teammates get on Nico the most for. What is the one thing that he catches the most crap for?
Oh man, I think one thing a lot of people give him crap for is how he pronounces things because he's a Minnesota guy.
Yeah.
And so everybody always teasing him because like certain words he'll say like Aggie, he'll say like Aggie and different stuff, and it's a little different. So everybody be messing with him about that, but it's all fun and games.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. Nique is averaging almost 13 field goal attempts per game. That's why that was such a tame answer right there, because he wants to keep getting 13 shots a game, right?
Hey, listen,
Yeah,
you
I'm gonna
can't
stay
blame
good.
him. You can't blame him. I mean, I'm looking at it. All right, year one, 1.5 field goal attempts a game, then 5.5, then 6. Finally gets to like almost 9 last year, and finally Isaiah Stevens leaves, and he knows he's going to eat this year, and he wants to continue to eat for the rest of the season.
Uh,
So smart man,
yeah,
smart man.
gotta stay in good with coach.
That's right.
What is it about these guys from the state of Colorado that have late growth spurts? You were 6 foot as a sophomore, right? Dalton Connect was 5'8" as a sophomore in high school. Everyone knows that story. Derek
Yeah.
White looked like he was 11 years old when he was a senior in high school. What is it? Is it just something like the thin air? You're not getting enough oxygen when you're growing up? What is it, man?
It might be the air, like we not getting enough air in our lungs, or I don't know, we start eating too much later in our life to where we start growing a little more in high school or college. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that's crazy that all them same stories keep reoccurring. It's pretty cool though.
Hey, you wearing your contacts right now?
Oh yeah, got to. I wouldn't be able to see y'all if I didn't have them in.
Well, I mean, I heard you've had some issues with them over the years, some major issues with your contacts. Recently, right before the Nevada game,
Um,
Nevada? No.
and I did. Yeah, I did. I forgot to bring some of my contacts, and I couldn't see for a little bit, but we made it work, and
I
then
mean, come
got
on,
got
man.
some
Like, wait, wait,
Hold
wait.
on.
You say
You
you've matured. You say matured in what way? Like, you got to be responsible.
Hey,
Like,
I
you,
can't be perfect now. I forget stuff every once in a while, but yeah, I can't. I will never forget my contacts again. Trust me.
I love how it's again. How long did it take before you were able to get them?
Um, Actually, our trainer, he's thinks ahead. He's smart. So he made me and some of the rest of our guys who wear contacts give him contacts at the start of the season, so he has an extra pair for us when we on the road.
he knew that Nique. He knew that Nique was not the most
Hey.
responsible dude in the world,
He
so he
knew.
had a backup plan.
He knew. Yeah, I can give him a lot of respect for that one. I needed them contacts.
All right, I got one more for you, and it'll be back to being a serious one because I forgot to ask it earlier. You said that one of the things that NBA scouts that kind of told you to kind of develop in your game was become a little bit more of a consistent 3-point shooter, right? And
Yeah,
be a little bit more confident in that. And I feel like you're getting different threes this year than you did last year, where last year a lot was like kind of, all right, pace and space here. Isaiah Stevens is going to draw two, kick it to me. I'm going to be open on the wing, open in the corner, catch and shoot. Whereas
yeah,
you're getting a little more kind of isolation stuff. You got to create some of that stuff for your own. How is that shooting development gone? And do you feel like do you feel more confident and more comfortable shooting the ball now than you did a year ago?
yeah. Like you said, it's definitely been different. The shot selection I'm getting this year. Having Isaiah, he was always creating for others, and so it's a little different now. I'm higher on the scouting report. They're usually pretty tight on me when I'm off the ball, even. And so it's just like being able to create more space off the ball, like moving without the ball, or when I do have the ball, having to create my own shot a little more. And so it's definitely been different, but that's something I worked on a lot over the off season, knowing that I was probably going to see double teams or see more focus on the other team's defense. And so it's stuff I worked on. I'm a lot more comfortable with it than I was even last year, just shooting off the dribble. Um, um, I started off the season shooting it really well. Went through a little dip these last few games, um, but saw a couple go in last game, which was really good. But just having that shooter's mindset, like I've had my ups and downs, but if I get my shot, I'm gonna shoot it with confidence and just know I've put in the work that it's gonna go in. And so just continuing to trust that, I think, is the biggest piece for me, even when I have had these last couple games not shooting as well as I've wanted to. Um, but I'm gonna keep shooting good shots for my team and um, contribute in that way.
Well,
You
hey,
guys have played well here these last couple weeks. You've won 3 of your last 4. What's been the key to that, and maybe the development of this team earlier on in the season, you lose to UC Riverside.
Yeah.
Like what's been the reason for maybe the uptick lately?
I think we're starting to gel even more. We didn't play great against New Mexico, which unfortunately happens sometime. But like you said, the last three or four, I feel like we're really like playing together. Like we're starting to understand each other better, of tendencies, what we want to get out of our offensive schemes. And then defensively, I feel like we've done a really good job, and I think that's helped our energy, even on the offensive side. Like we played really good defense against Nevada. San Jose held them to 15 in the first half. Like that's high level stuff, and so when we can do that on defense, I think that just helps our game offensively, getting us easy shots and being able to run the floor, which we're usually pretty good at when we can get stops. Um, so I would say the defensive side has gotten better and more intensity has been shown those last 3 to 4 games.
What kind of impact has Ethan Morton had? You're bringing in a guy that has been in one of the winningest basketball programs that we've seen in a long time. That dude's won more games than just about anybody in the sport the last 4 years.
Man, he's a guy that brings so much experience for us. Great leader for our team. He talks to all the guys at practice, uses his voice to express what he's seeing out there. And coach is huge about having player-led teams. And so Ethan's done a great job of, using his experience and all the basketball that he's played to just help our team and help our culture continue to grow from what he's seen from a winning team. And, he's a guy that doesn't get credit for a lot of the stuff that he does. He plays really good defense for us. He's a great cutter, great passer. He hasn't shot the ball like he's wanted to this year, but we continue to trust him and we want him shooting shots if he's open. So I think it's just a battle with himself of just, staying with it. Like myself, when I wasn't shooting well, just sticking with it and trusting. He's put in the work. I've seen him make tons of shots. And so he's a guy that's going to help us over the course of this season and has already shown that he can help in many different ways. And similar to me,
Hey,
he's
Rob,
very
Rob,
versatile.
I bet Ethan, if he wears glasses or has contacts, does not forget him.
He's a little more responsible than me in that.
Exactly. Hey, that's what I was getting at. That's what I was
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
at
yeah.
without saying it.
Hey, yeah, I got you.
Well, listen, Nique, it's been great having you on, man. It's great to catch up. I'm really happy to see you kind of develop this year and have the year that you're having. And hopefully, man, you got to keep putting up these double doubles, keep putting up those numbers like that. We're gonna have to get you back on the show again later on this year. Best of luck, stay healthy, and we hope to see you down the road.
I appreciate y'all. Happy New Year's to y'all, and thanks for having me on.